Hey, it's Les from the TV Dudes. This week, I was lucky enough to chat with actor Conor Husting. You might have seen him on the Netflix series Prince of Peoria, where he played Tanner. But today we chat about the upcoming series, also on Netflix, The Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia, where he plays Tad. Conor grew up in Santa Monica, and we talk about his early years in California nearby Hollywood, and whether that had an influence on him becoming an actor. The audition for Expanding Universe, the bond they have between cast and crew on the set, and much more. The show comes out Monday, February 17th on Netflix, and I hope you enjoy the interview.
Hello.
Hey, Conor.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, not a lot. Thank you for making time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So, I was looking through your bio. I know you grew up in California. When I talk to actors who, grew up on the other coast or grew up overseas, it's always, just kind of this wonder to them that like Hollywood really exists or that working in entertainment really exists. Can you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
what it was like for you growing up with it kind of right on your doorstep? Was it still kind of an unreal thing that was just right over there, or what was it like growing up in Santa Monica?
Well, growing up in Santa Monica, it's beautiful. I love I love the beach and all that. And I'd say I had more of probably less of a fantasy image of Hollywood because it's because Hollywood being a location, it's kind of dirty. And I think it was fun to talk to some of my castmates who didn't realize that it's not. I don't think it's as pretty as they probably imagined it. But the actual working in Hollywood and actually having a job and getting to work with all these cool people that you would think you would never meet. That's the part of it that is so crazy.
So,
Does that make any sense?
yeah. I always find for a lot of people getting over that hump of I'm gonna, I like acting or I like being on stage in school, but I'm gonna really try for this, can be normalizing it.
Yeah.
Meeting people who are really in the industry, and I could see it making a bit of a difference if you're like, no, you could take an Uber to Hollywood, it's right there. Uh,
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
got cast on Prince of Peoria on Netflix, can you talk a little
Mhm.
bit about making that jump to like a series regular character? Was that daunting or exciting going into that?
Uh, for Prince Peoria being a reoccurring guest star,
That's
it was interesting. I definitely thirsted more to be. I wanted more. I wanted to build the character in a more three-dimensional way, and I always wanted to be a part of it a bit more. So being able to do that on this show was a lot of fun, and it was a blessing, and I feel really.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask what you can tell me about Tad, who you play on Expanding Universe of Ashley Garcia, which, I mean, with Mario Lopez producing, the trailer looks like it's going to be a blast. Uh, can you talk a little bit about getting the role of Tad, the audition, and what you're excited about?
Yeah, definitely. The audition process is kind of a funny story because I was planning on kind of going to college and ending trying to become an actor. And so when I got the audition for the Expanding Universe, I didn't really give it my full attention, and I went into the audition, and I really just did not do well. And then they called me back, and I tried a little harder, but it wasn't clicking. And so I left, and apparently behind the scenes after that second audition, they had a meeting, and they were having a hard time casting the role. And Robert Prince, who also works on Prince of Peoria, who works on works on the Expanding Universe, said, hey, bring this guy in, because the characters that I play on each show are so similar. And they said, oh, we already auditioned him. And he said, bring him in one more time. So when I went in for the third time, they told me, do it like Tanner from Prince of Peoria. And then it clicked, and then I went to chemistry read with all the other people, and then I got casted. And I guess as far as Tad's character, he's a very optimistic, go-lucky, happy type of kid who sees the world, I think, in a different way than most. And that's kind of what spurs his spastic and sometimes questionable things that he says.
Is that, do you feel like you're personally a pretty upbeat, optimistic person, or is this kind of fun, free, and indifferent to play for you, or does it feel kind of at home for your personality?
There's definitely a part of me that is very connected to that kind of spastic, and I get excited, and I'm hyper and ADD type of person. But I think that Tad's consistent optimism is something that I don't necessarily have, but being able to play it and get into the mindset of someone who is consistently optimistic was kind of helpful for my everyday life. How would Tad deal with this situation type of thing?
I would assume it's probably more fun as an actor to get to repeat a character, and like you were saying about Tanner on Prince of Peoria, getting to kind of deepen that person.
Yeah.
Was that a new experience
Absolutely.
for you with Tad, or what was particularly fun about kind of trying to really get into him?
Well, I think for Tanner, I kind of built the base of what Tad is, this base kind of character, but it was more two-dimensional, and I didn't have kind of the background and storyline that I got for Tad. So it was a lot of fun getting to expand, if you will, on the character.
What would you say across your experiences acting, working professionally, what do you think's been the most helpful thing that's clicked for you in terms of doing your job?
Like advice or what do you mean?
Either something you figured out, or advice somebody gave you on set, or anything that you've figured out that you went, all right, I'm a better actor today than I was yesterday.
I've over the years, I've gotten the chance to work with two acting coaches who I think have definitely helped me and increased my ability to act. And I don't think that I think I still have a lot of work to do. So I'd say I'm just going to keep training with those guys.
Have you had any favorite moments on set, either on Expanding Universe or other projects where things really clicked and you were like, man, we're all in the moment together?
Well, for the Expanding Universe, all the cast members and even the crew, we kind of it was one of those lucky things where we all just clicked, and it was like a family. So I was always comfortable trying new things and taking the character to a crazy extent that might have been too far, but it was cool that we went there and tried it. And all the scenes we just have so much fun with.
Yeah, I've had people tell me about finding that trust on set of like, all right, I'm going to go big, and someone will tell me if it's dumb or bad.
Yeah.
Have there been any moments where you looked around and went, oh my gosh, was that all right? Did I just completely?
Definitely, absolutely. Sometimes there are moments in the show where I dance, and so that's embarrassing because I'm not a dancer. So I'll do, some improvisational moves, and I'll look around and make sure that it wasn't too stupid and it was just funny.
Is that do you feel like that ability to be yourself in public and be confident in your body a little bit, is that something you've always had? Is that something that you learned kind of for the job?
I think that I've always been very, outgoing. I do get insecure, but I'd say with this job, it definitely developed more of a carefree attitude.
Yeah, that it's okay to be like this and try these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you talk a bit about what first got you into acting, or do you remember what the first moment was where you went, okay, this is worth the trouble. This is really enjoyable.
Yeah. I pretty much got scouted when I was 17. A family friend kind of said, "Hey, have you ever done acting?" And no, not really. Growing up in Santa Monica, I'd done plays in school, blah blah, but it was never something obtainable. And he basically threw me into the mix and got me in classes and started sending me out on auditions, and just working with him and having somebody believe in me was, I think, what made me think this is really fun. This is great. Because as a kid, I loved to dress up and, pretend I had like my costume box that I was always in costume, and I always wanted to bring my costumes to school and type of thing.
Same. So, did you ever get shot down on that, or did you get to wear costumes to school?
Oh, sometimes I'd wear my like Grim Reaper cloak to school.
That's great.
But yeah, I got shot down a lot. Yeah. And parents like taking it off as I walk up. So.
Right. No, you're not wearing that. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, we're looking forward to Expanding Universe. It looks really fun on the trailer, and it's of course going to be on Netflix. Looking forward to seeing you play Tad. Thank you so much for talking to me about it today.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was easy to talk to. You're the first person that it felt easy to talk to, so it's cool.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, take it easy.
TV Dudes is an independently run podcast out of Austin, Texas. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/TVDudes.
You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at TV Dudes. All the music for our show is done by our friend and original TV Dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith.
To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com. I'm Randy Lander.
I'm Les Weiler.
And I'm Kyle Scott.
Thanks for listening.